Hey guys, Grill Sergeant here. What's going on, Grill Billies? Today we're going to be looking at the SMARTRO ST54 barbecue thermometer. So let's unbox this and let's start the show. So SMARTRO sent me this to see if I could do a video review on it. So let's unbox it and see what's inside. So inside you basically got instructions, warranty cards. This does come with 2 temperature probes, the actual device itself, and then you got a temperature clip. All right, now let's take a closer look at this. Let's unwrap this. So usually when looking at a digital thermometer, it all comes down to how easy is the product to use. So sometimes it could have a bunch of functions, but if there's so many buttons and how to get to certain menus, it just becomes confusing. And what I like about this is it's pretty simple. On the sides here, you have port 1 and port 2 for the probes. And on the back, you basically have analog switches. So if you're, changing, if you want Fahrenheit, you actually just switch it to Fahrenheit from over here. And then here you basically have an off switch. You have a timer if you wanted to do a count up or count down timer. And then you have it if you're basically cooking and you want to just track the temperature of your meat, you switch it to cook. So very simple. Let's put some batteries in this thing and check her out. So we got some batteries in this bad boy. We're going to plug the 2 probes in, and then I'm going to switch it to cook. And so on here, pretty much how this works is you basically have P1 and P2, and that's basically talking about probe 1 and probe 2. And so what we're gonna do is let's go to probe 1. And then when it comes here on the meat, you're basically gonna switch through, and it has your options up here. What are you doing? So it's like if you're doing, cow and you want it well, do you want it medium, do you want it rare? And then usually what I like to do is to go over to this custom, and then what I'm gonna do is basically hold down this. And what I like doing is what's called reverse searing. So I basically want my alarm to go off when it hits 115. And so basically it's saying that for probe 1, the ambient temperature right now is 61. And then the alarm is gonna go off when it hits 115. And when that alarm hits off, what I'll do is I'll take the probe out and then put the meat directly over the coals about 1 minute per side. And then after I let it rest, it brings up the temperature to a perfect medium rare. Setting probe number 2, change it to 115, and there we go. As far as the probes themselves, they're both reading about the same temperature right now, so they're pretty spot on when it comes to that. So if we were to put this in here and then slide this through, that's basically what it would look like on your grill. And again, you'd have your hot source here. This could work with your gas grills too, as long as, if I have your front burners off and then you have the back burners on, this can help measure the ambient temperature, but you never really want to put these directly over flame. So that's pretty much how that works. All right, now let's look at the pros and cons of actually this specific thermometer. And so for the pros are, its price point. This comes in as probably one of the cheapest thermometers I've ever seen, and it still packs a lot of really good features in it. So if you're new to the market when it comes to barbecue temperature probes and budget is an issue, definitely would recommend this one. The second pro is its user face. It is very simple to use. You basically have your on-off switch, and you have your Celsius and Fahrenheit switch. And it's pretty straightforward without even looking at the instructions on how to use this. Another thing that I actually like about this is when it comes to the actual temperature probes themselves, there's this little wire protector spring thing on the end. And usually with temperature probes, you have your basically points of contact that if this part gets damaged, the probe becomes useless. And they put this one on to almost protect this little joint thing here. And that's kind of cool. Even in my thermometers that get up into $200-300, I don't even see this. So that's actually a really cool pro feature. Now, when it comes to cons, comparing this to other thermometers, one, this limits you at basically 2 ports. A lot of the temperature probes that I have, it allows for up to 4 ports. Now, I don't usually use all 4, but there is some times where, you know, if you have, you know, say 2 or 3 tri-tips on a kettle, or if you have, you know, if you're working with multiple pieces of chicken, it is helpful to have more probes just so that you can read a few temperatures of meats. This one, it basically allows for 2. If you're cooking, you know, a brisket, that's not an issue. If you're cooking a bunch of chicken and they're different sizes, you might want a few more ports. And so that's kind of a con, that it basically only has 2. Another con would be that there's no way to actually read the temperature unless you're right by your grill. Now trust me, when I'm barbecuing, I love just hanging out by my grill. That's half the fun of barbecuing, just waiting for the meat to come up ready and you're just relaxing by your kettle. But if you need to run inside, or if you know, or if you're smoking something for, you know, 10 hours, having something that either transmits to your phone or actually transmit to another device, that is helpful, so you don't actually have to put eyes on this 24/7. So that is another, I would say another con with this, is you basically have to be by your grill to know the temperature. So it's not the end of the world. Another thing to point out is it does take AAA batteries. There are some other digital thermometers out there that they are rechargeable, which is kind of cool, but I've also been in cooks where, oh crap, the actual unit itself is about to die and I can't slap new batteries in there. And so there's that issue too, whereas if this, you know, if the batteries die on you on this, pop new ones in and you're good to go. If you forget to recharge your rechargeable thermometer and, you know, you're doing a cook and this dies on you, you kind of have to charge it up for a few hours, and that totally defeats the purpose. So that's neither a pro nor a con, but just some info to put out there. So I'll put a link in the description so you guys can check this out. It is pretty cool if you're looking to get a barbecue thermometer and a budget is your concern. This is definitely a great place to start. All right, thanks for watching. If you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We do awesome cooks on this channel, and we would love to see you guys around, all right? Grill Sergeant out. Cheers. Take the probe out and then put the meat directly over the coals about 1 minute per side, and then after I let it rest, it brings up the temperature to a perfect medium rare. That's how I like my steaks. You can do it on your own. If we want to adjust P2, again, same thing. It's on the setting right now, so I'm going to adjust the temperature to how I want it. And we have an airplane flying over right now. Just gotta wait for that to pass.